I'm trying this for the first time, so hopefully this will work. I wanted to go over the syllabus a little bit. It is Sunday before the class starts, and I've just gotten this set up. So I've got a new microphone over here, which I don't know if I got to talk into it this close or not. I have done a couple of the trial recordings, and it sounded okay. So hopefully you can see everything that I've got here on my desktop. I'm going over the syllabus, and you can follow along with it with me if you like, and just listen, or you can just watch this video. The three before me, the reason I have that here is because typically it's a pretty huge class of at least 100 students. So far it looks like I have just under 100 this time, so it's not quite as bad as I usually have. But to tell the truth, most of the time, most questions that I have, or most questions that you may have, are already answered on the syllabus. So if you'll thoroughly read the syllabus or ask the TA, they can certainly help you. But you're more than welcome to ask me as well. I don't want you to feel like this is a barrier between you and I. It's certainly not that. It's more of trying to encourage you to go over the syllabus, the schedule, the protocols, and even my frequently asked questions, which is on the homepage of web courses that you'll see. And here's a very psychologist photo of me here. My office right now is at the Southlake campus. I also have a private practice. I'm a licensed psychologist, and I have a private practice in Claremont. So you can call the practice office if you need to get a hold of me. You can also text me. Here's my text right here. And it makes it pretty easy just to give me a quick text if you need something after you've read everything in the syllabus. Email is a good way to reach me as well. I have access to email on my phone, and as well as my computers and such. So I try to check that pretty frequently. This is summer 2017 for interviewing and counseling. However, hopefully if this recording turns out okay, I may use it for future classes. So it may be in the future that you're looking at this beyond this particular summer semester. Here's the course description. Here's the course objectives, the required textbooks. I put a number of recommended textbooks as well. I like these, especially for people who are just starting out and don't yet have any kind of understanding of what it means to be a therapist. If you aspire to go into mental health counseling or anything along those lines, then this is all of these are some good ones to pick up. Course requirements, lots of videos and such that I make for this class in my video series that you can watch by clicking on that link. Most of those are actually already included in your course content. It's the old, if you want to get into the Facebook group, here it is. It's not required. This is purely optional. But if you want to do the discussion group, then it is certainly available on web courses. And any of the web courses discussion groups count as discussion. There's your evaluation and grading. Okay. So this is the biggest thing, and this is the part that always has a ton of questions from students. And I'm not sure why, because I feel like it is a very straightforward assignment. So let me try to explain this and go through it with the paper, for the paper and on the syllabus here. It's very, very straightforward. All I want you to do is simply interview someone. That's it. I want you to interview someone, and it can even be pretend. You don't have to interview someone and they come up with a real problem and they're really interviewing themselves. So you can have a friend or a classmate, a family member, whoever wants to volunteer for this class assignment. You can get them to volunteer, and then they can pretend to be someone else. They can be John or Jane Doe. They can come up with a series of problems and a whole mystery background or a whole made-up background, and that might be fun if you want to do it that way. Any of that is fine. The purpose of this assignment is to give you practice, since for some of you this may be your very first time you've ever had the opportunity to do a clinical interview. The clinical interview questions can be found on Module 2. Typically, I always know the students who haven't done any of the modules on web courses because they will text me or call me, hey, I don't know what to ask for my paper, and it's the end of the semester. Do you have any questions I can use to ask? Yes, and if you had done the modules, you would have seen that. So do the modules. The modules are really important and an important part of the course assignment and will help you with your paper. So basically, you're going to interview someone. I think it would be best if you partnered with a classmate. Here's the final breakdown for the assignment. So find an appropriate client for the interview. Go to Module 2. That will help you with the questions you need to ask. Then you need to transcribe or record with a video camera, your phone, some kind of video equipment, a webcam, or whatever you want, however you want to do it. Video record 2 minutes of your interview. And at least 2 minutes. I would recommend that you actually video the entire thing just for yourself so that you can have it for yourself. But for the purpose of the paper, I only require 2 minutes of video or a 2-minute transcription that you would add to your paper. So if it's a video you've decided to add to your paper and you're adding 2 minutes of that video, then you just add the link to the paper. Here is my link to the paper, thank you. Or if you add the transcription to the paper, then you add the complete transcription. And I have an example of what a transcription looks like. The therapist says, what brings you in here today? The client, I am here because I'm feeling depressed, and so on, and so on and on and on. You're going to write the paper in an APA format. So once you've done your interview, and whatever the issues of the client are, you find 8 scholarly resources, and a scholarly resource is fully defined as to what that is in here. You find 8 scholarly resources, and then you use those as the foundation for a literature review about your paper and to discuss the client you had. So for example, if your client had depression and anxiety issues, then you could find 8 scholarly resources on depression and anxiety, and you use that to support what you did, the questions you asked, and maybe to illuminate or talk a little bit about the client and what you think the client, the issues they brought, or what particular things that you can do for them, what treatment plan you might have for them, do you recommend counseling, all of those sorts of things. There's a lot of right ways to do this paper, a lot of right ways to do it. So don't feel stuck that there's like one and only one way to do this paper. If you have your 8 scholarly resources, if you've done your transcription or your video and you've written your paper and you've put it all together, I promise you, you will do well on the paper overall, and it will be really great. Your papers are due June 20th. Here's the basic guidelines for the paper, 5 to 10 pages long, including APA formatting, on, and so you can do all this. I don't require you to have an abstract for this particular paper because it's more of a clinical interview sort of thing instead of a research paper. So just have your title page and do your references in APA format, and then have your final reference page at the end. Your first assignments for the course are due. That's on web courses. If you click home, you'll find them. They're really good first assignments, and I think that you'll enjoy them. And they will also give you a little boost in your points overall, and it will give the UCF also the documentation they need to show that you are starting the class. Here's the exams. You're going to have 3 exams. Oh, I need to change that. Beginning August 31st. Actually, they begin in May at the starting of this class, so I'll change that. your modules, your online discussion, forum presentation. All you got to do is post one intelligent post during the year. There's a lot of different ways you can participate. Post on Facebook if you like the Facebook group. Post on the Web Courses discussion group. To find that, go on Web Courses, click home, scroll down, and it will say discussion. And you can participate in any of those discussion groups in order to get full credit for that. So just post one meaningful discussion in addition to any of the discussions that are required for your modules. Those are different discussions that might be required for your modules. And the modules are up here. Both the modules and the discussions are pass-fail assignments. The reason I have those is just to encourage you to participate in class, that's all. So don't overthink those at all. I hope this has helped and not further confused you. And maybe we'll get some better at that. But if you have any further questions about any of this stuff, please just let me know. Text me or email me or whatever you like to do. I hope we have a great semester together, and thanks for being part of the class.